Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. We'll let you get settled in. Welcome to LIBOR's Wednesday webinar. I'm Mary Ann Monteleone, Vice President of Professional Development for the Long Island Board of Realtors. We were chatting away with today's guest, and I know you're going to find him just as interesting and energetic as I did. I want to tell you on a personal note, when we first went remote, we reached out to Avi, and he was one of the first to step up and provide a webinar for LIBOR complimentary, and we're so thrilled to have him back here with us today. So I don't want to miss anything, Avi, so let me read his formal introduction and turn it over to you. Abi Golar is a three-time nationally syndicated radio show host, entrepreneur, and investor who combines his love for building wealth with his passion for education and all things media. His favorite activity is buying rental real estate and ordering a grande iced no espresso Americano. He is also the host of the Think Realty podcast. Please help me welcome the most talented face on radio, Abi Golar.
Mary Ann, thanks so much. I appreciate it. And it really is the most talented face. I generally do my best not to show my face in most instances. My wife will say, well, seriously, it's just better that you're behind a microphone and not on stage. Otherwise, you just look funny. I'm totally kidding. This is such a pleasure to be here. Thanks again so much for inviting me back. Today's conversation is around emerging marketing trends. Now, here's something that I want to start with. The conversation, and let me also maybe set a couple of housekeeping rules. Anytime you have a question, feel free to unmute yourself if you can. Otherwise, and just blurt it out, ask. Like, I want this to be as much information as you can absorb into your heads as possible, because there's so much here. It's going to be a little heavy. But stay with me. I'm going to make it I'll make it as fun as I can for you. If you do have questions, please use the Q&A. The Q&A in Zoom and also Zoom chat or Zoom chat. I have both of them open on my screen. So periodically I will be pausing my screen share and checking the chat, just so you guys and gals have an opportunity just to incorporate any questions and get anything answered. One of the biggest challenges is understanding where we're headed in 2023 from a social media perspective. Right, today's conversation is around the top 7 social media trends and what I need to do to take advantage of them. You'll find that we're not really talking platform, like very specific in nitty gritty what platforms I should use. Frankly, I think you should be using all of them. What I do as a real estate investor in Atlanta, I live in Atlanta. I'm both on the private equity side and real estate. So I use the strategies that I'm sharing with you today to, one, identify deal flow, and number two, communicate with the individuals to establish relationships. Because at the end of the day, the only thesis that you should have engaging anything on social is to take an online conversation offline, get on the phone, do a Zoom, meet them in person, and really understand why you are there, why they're there, and the services that you have as an agent. Do they lock in with this individual that you're looking to help, whether you're on the home buying side or home selling side? The last couple of weeks, last couple of months, ChatGPT has become a very big focus for a lot of people. Many of you are thinking about using ChatGPT, but you're like, well, I don't really know how to use it because I've been hearing Google and Facebook and LinkedIn, and there are a lot of folks, these platforms are deprioritizing the content that is written by ChatGPT because it is written by AI. And ChatGPT also isn't 100% original content. Second, ChatGPT also doesn't have all the right facts. So when you're thinking about using ChatGPT, do so sparingly and make sure you proofread. Real quick, how many of you know what ChatGPT is? Just maybe in Zoom chat, say, yep, I know it, or nope, I am completely clueless. Show me how to use it, because I want to right off the bat, I want to show you how I use ChatGPT in my deal finding, opportunity finding world. Cool. So a lot of people know exactly what ChatGPT is. How many of you have used it in your business to either create content, maybe identify topics for ebooks, this kind of thing? And I'm going to do a live example of how to do that. Yes, for content. Barbara, Travis uses it on a regular basis. So Nadia Shamash, this is going to be perfect for you. Rebecca Gibson, not yet for content, yes for content. So here's the thing. Okay. Can AI can AI create the personality through which you deliver this content? Right? Can AI create the personality inside the content? There's only one answer to that. I'm looking for responses here in the Zoom chat. Shamira says no. Correct. The personality is human. ChatGPT, that AI, is really built to give you ideas to then go to the marketplace and see whether or not they work. So I'm going to share my screen and we're going to have a little fun in let's just see what happens, right? If I'm creating content, for those of you that have not yet used ChatGPT, this is one of the ways that I would use ChatGPT to fuel my content machine. Again, disclaimer, if all you're doing is copy and pasting this text message in a LinkedIn article, if you check out originality.ai, okay, again, originality.ai, if you use originality.ai, it will tell you whether or not the content was derived or made by a machine, by AI, or by a human. This is also a really good way if you're paying a social media team to cross-check whether or not they're actually using AI to create your content and not infusing it with their creativity, or are they actually doing human work? Does that make sense? That's a really big deal. I don't want you guys to get scammed by just saying, hey, I'm paying my media team and my media team is so great, they're cranking out 8-10 articles a day. It's likely they're using ChatGPT or an AI bot, which will deprioritize your articles on Google and LinkedIn. So let me just show you how this works. This is the ChatGPT terminal. If you want to call it a terminal, I just have a couple of things on the left side here. And let's make it hyper specific, okay? ChatGPT only works if you have the right inputs that you're using it, that you're inputting in. ChatGPT literally can do anything. So if we just say top 10 trends, you'll see my input down below. I'm typing the top 10 trends for real estate home buyers in Long Island, New York. Whoops, New York. Cool. And if all I do is type in the top 10 trends, it gives me immediate output. And what a ChatGPT is doing is scouring the internet and saying, these are the top 10 things that maybe I should, as a real estate agent, take a look at. The web link, Nadia, is chat.openai.com. Okay, chat.openai.com. So already ChatGPT is saying, hey, the first thing that I need to do is give you a disclosure. Like, as an AI language model, I don't have access to up-to-date information beyond my cutoff date. Here are the top 10 trends for real estate home buyers in Long Island. Big deal, right? So maybe you can cross-check whether or not these make sense. Number 1, affordability. Number 2, suburban living. Number 3, outdoor living spaces. Number 4, home offices. Energy efficiency, open floor plans. Just out of curiosity, on Zoom chat, are these hitting home for some of the real estate agents that are out there and you're kind of wondering what to talk about on social? Would you talk about these topics? Shamira says yes, energy efficiency. And Judith says yes, absolutely. Cool. So this is one way to get ideas. Okay, I have an entire team of creatives that I use to help that use ChatGPT to just come up with ideas on what to go dive deeper into. As we'll see, some of the trending social media trends, and you can use ChatGPT to empower and weaponize your online social media presence, but it shouldn't be all that you use. Does that make sense? Is that coming off loud and clear? This is not just a copy and paste situation, okay? Is what I'm trying to say. So let's say, for instance, you have a Gen Z client and you're like, well, I'm 55, 60 years old. I don't understand Gen Z. What is this? I'm so confused, right? So let's write a more empowering, more detailed input for ChatGPT. What do you think if I'm a new real estate agent and I am, let's say I'm 55 years old, I'm a new real estate agent and I have my first client. My first client is a Gen Z first-time home buyer. What do you think my input to ChatGPT should be so I know how to connect with this individual? As you think about it, I'm going to type it. As a new real estate agent that's 55 years old, and you have to give ChatGPT a prompt. You have to tell ChatGPT to do something. Write a 500-word email cold email to a Gen Z first-time homebuyer client looking to move to Long Island, New York in the next 30 days. This email should include data, home buying data from Long Island, New York, and be written in a friendly, educational tone. Cool. The more specific of an input you give ChatGPT, the better of a job it will do for you. Are you guys ready for this? And then we'll get to my slides. You guys ready? I need to see like a bunch of yeses on my Zoom chat. Otherwise, I'm not going to press enter. Like yes with like 5 or 100 exclamation points. Okay, all caps. Let's do this. All right, cool. So we're going to let ChatGPT do its thing. And again, this is a 55-year-old new real estate agent who wants to talk to a Gen Z. Okay, this is kind of interesting. And remember, I set the tone for it to be friendly, educational to a Gen Z individual. It doesn't specify, and this is a new first-time homebuyer Gen Z client. So this is kind of interesting. I think ChatGPT here is kind of doing a relatively good job, right? Like, hey, dear, I wouldn't start with dear. I'd probably start with hey, client name. I hope this email finds you well. My name is John, and I'm a licensed real estate agent in Long Island. I understand you're a first-time homebuyer looking to move to Long Island in the next 30 days. I'd be happy to help. Long Island is a great place to live, work, and raise a family with its stunning beaches, excellent schools, and easy access to the city. It's no wonder so many people are flocking to Long Island to call it home. Okay. So this is where ChatGPT kind of screws up, right? It's like as a new real estate agent at the age of 55, I probably wouldn't have put that in there, obviously. I understand. Okay. However, okay, cool. However, I like what ChatGPT did there. However, I bring a wealth of knowledge and experience to the industry that I believe can benefit you. Here's some interesting statistics. It gives me decent statistics. I would have to cross-check these statistics doing an online search, but you know what? Way to go, ChatGPT. You just made my email writing a lot easier. And as a first-time homebuyer, I understand the process of buying a home can be overwhelming. If you're interested in learning more, I think this speaks very well to a Gen Z individual. I would then use this in my email marketing campaign after making a couple of tweaks. Shamira, yes, my prompt to ChatGPT is the following. As a new real estate agent that's 55 years old, I want ChatGPT to write a 500-word cold email, again, not a warm email, a cold email to a Gen Z first-time homebuyer client looking to move to Long Island, New York in the next 30 days. This email should include a home buying data from Long Island, New York, and be written in a friendly, educational tone. Now, get this. Let's just say I wanted to be very upfront and blunt and kind of angry. ChatGPT can do that too. I'm not suggesting that you do this, but I just want to show you the power of what you can do with ChatGPT. So right off the bat, I'm going to get rid of this. I want to write a 200-word warm email to a Gen Z first-time home buyer. This should be written in a blunt and direct tone. Let's try that. And not Gen Z first time. We're going to say millennial. Did I spell millennial? Millennial. I'm a millennial. I can't even spell the word millennial. That's okay. We're just going to keep going. Now I'm tasking ChatGPT to write another email. I want y'all to start thinking about how to use this inside of your social strategy, inside of your outreach campaigns. Because remember, at the end of the day, you're the influencer, you're the trusted authority in the space. You want to use ChatGPT to your benefit. This is the way to do it. It can come up with 10, 20, 30 million ideas to empower and weaponize your social media teams to then be an influencer to continue the outreach campaigns. Is this making any sense? Do we have any questions so far? I'll pause here while ChatGPT finishes. If you have any questions, feel free to use the Q&A. If you want to go ahead and also use the Zoom chat, feel free to do that as well. But I wanted to show you the power of ChatGPT. This is pretty amazing stuff. I'll show you 2 more pieces of tech, and then we'll get to my presentation. Let's read what ChatGPT said. Again, the prompt is, I want to write a 200-word warm email to a millennial first-time home buyer looking to move, and I want this email to be blunt and direct. Hey, dear client, congratulations on your decision to becoming a home buyer. As a new real estate agent, I understand how overwhelming the process can be, but I'm here to help you with your goal to move. I want to make sure you're aware of some important home buying data for the area. Frankly, this is great, right? Because as a real estate agent, the idea is not to just come across and sell services to get the listing or to get the exclusive. The idea is to lead with value. And we know that that's a very foundational effort. That's a very foundational pillar to who we are as real estate agents, lead with value. This gives you the opportunity to understand the value you can bring to somebody. Data is one of those things. So feel free to copy this. I think that'd be fantastic. And you're good to go. So that's ChatGPT. Again, the link for ChatGPT is chat.openai.com. ChatGPT did come out with ChatGPT Plus. It's $20 a month. And this is why I have unlimited access to it. I think this just helps me and my team. Now, if we're thinking video and you're like, well, Avi, you know, I want to do more video for social. How do I do that? I want you guys to check out synthesia.io. This gives you, this is insane. If you're like, I don't want to sit here with my phone and take selfie videos all day like Gary in my city. I would much rather have somebody else do that. What you could do is copy and paste. If you copy this text and paste it into Synthesia, I think that's how you say it, synthesia.io, it gives you a virtual avatar that speaks what you want to have said. That is incredible. So think about that. You can really leverage social by providing really good information by using an avatar that is not even your face. This would be great for training. This is fantastic for really good market data. And a good call to action would then be, hey, my name is Nadia, get in touch with Nadia and her team at 212-555-1212, right? This gives you the opportunity to crank out more online videos. And let's say, like, I'm a big fan of doing something fun every Friday. And if one of my Fun Friday posts is, I want a Fun Friday post to be something really creative. Dolly is a way where you can create images, any images that you think of, in a heartbeat. So it could literally be an impressionist wow, I cannot spell, an impressionist painting of Long Island with at a park next to a bench with two robins sitting next to each other. It can be as creative as you want it to be. And this AI just spits out an image based on your input. Again, AI to your benefit. And here we go. This is just something I just came up with. And this is an impressionist painting of Long Island next to a bench with two robins sitting next to each other. And here we go. I think this is beautiful. I mean, I'm gonna print this and just hang it on my wall somewhere at home. This is called DALL-E, D-A-L-L-E. If you go to Google and you search DALL-E, D-A-L-L-E, the number 2, that's what will show up. I have a golden retriever, and I was playing around with my golden retriever a little bit, and you know, we've got a couple of soccer balls and stuff like that. I wanted to dress him up as a scientist. The second website, the video website, is synthesia.io. Synthesia.io, synthesia.io. And just for the record, I'm not affiliated with anything here. These are just some of the top tools that I'm using. There are plenty of additional AI tools that you can use. I do recommend checking it out, because if everybody else is doing it, at least understand it. And if you don't want to use it after understanding it, that's cool too, not a big deal. But if you're paying somebody to write articles and all they're doing is going to ChatGPT and cranking out an 800-word article about something, I think you're wasting your money. So just please be aware of that. Let's pause here while I switch screens. Does anybody have any questions about what we've gone through so far? ChatGPT, huh? You know, I think about like the Star Trek days. I'm a big Trekkie. And I would like watch Captain Janeway on Star Trek Voyager. That was the Star Trek that I grew up on in the 90s. And I'm like, how cool would it be if I could do things on my phone and I had like AI that just did things for me? Isn't that the world we live in now? Like anything that I want becomes reality like that. That's insane. The avatar here, I'll just link everything in the Zoom chat, chat.openai.com, DALL-E 2, and there you go. Those are the 3 websites that we just went through. Again, a lot of information. I know those are the 3 sites I want you all to check out. Just check out later today to see how you can incorporate it into your overall strategy. Okay. Now, Nadia asked who created all these amazing sites. Not me. Definitely somebody smarter than me that's building AI for sure. Let me go ahead and get this all loaded up for us. And oh, you don't see my links. Oh no. Let me see. I sent the links on the Zoom chat. If you don't see them, just message me and I'll make sure to get them to you. Is one website better than the other? One for text writing, one for art and video. So Annie, that's a really good question. I would identify with your brand, with your messaging, which one you want to go with first. My inclination is you'll probably want to check out ChatGPT and the email campaigns that ChatGPT can build. Maybe some of the social media posts that ChatGPT will recommend that you and your team create. Based on the posts, if you're using video as a strategy, then maybe use Synthesia.io. If you want to introduce something fun and creative to your team, then I would probably suggest using DALL-E 2 as a graphics AI, a graphics artificial intelligence to help you generate some new ideas. Cool. Okay, so in the webinar chat, I guess the links aren't showing. How about this? I will send everybody my slides and the links. I have my email address, my personal email address at the very end. Can you all just shoot me an email and I'll get everything to you? Would that be okay? Can we make that deal? Perfect, excellent. All right, so let's see here. No problem, my pleasure. Let's go ahead and get this all loaded up. So that took 20 minutes, but I'm going to do everything that I can to continue to provide value to you. So the number one, and over the last many years, I've had the pleasure and the fortune of just speaking on really big stages to help real estate agents understand 2 things. Number 1, marketing, and the second, wealth building. Today, we're talking about marketing and social media. The number 1 mistake that I find real estate agents and brokers make across the country, it's not just, the Eastern Seaboard or Atlanta, is this: platform-specific content. We're not using platform-specific content because we have not identified what our content strategy needs to be. We think that, man, it's got to be 5 emails a day and then a bunch of real estate comments or a bunch of comments for Twitter threads and then maybe a Facebook post. And then we have to do LinkedIn because everybody's on LinkedIn. And then we have to do Instagram because everybody's on Instagram. Y'all pick 1 or 2 things and really dive deep into that content strategy. 2023 is your year to really iron that out. It is no longer okay to be spread super thin, not have a team, do everything yourself, and that's only on the media side. Offshore some of this stuff. Find a team offshore that can help support your efforts so you can be the amazing agent for your home buyer or your homeowner that wants to sell. They're the ones that need your time. They're the ones where you get the transactional value. They're the ones that you need to build your relational equity with. Getting distracted on social and doing all the stuff on social every single day is not going to help you. Identify your 1 content strategy, just 1, and then add another, then layer on another, then layer on another. That's what it's going to take to get to where you want to be. It sounds really easy in theory. It's like, obviously, seriously, of course, I'm going to do 1 thing at a time. But it's easy to get distracted. Just see how many people said, yes, I want to know more about ChatGPT. ChatGPT is just another distraction. And in fact, ChatGPT is wrong a lot of the time. It plagiarizes a lot of the time, and that's not cool. So you need to make sure that you just cover your behind, cover your behind when using these types of tools and integrating that inside your content strategy. Let me point out a couple of things as we get going here. Number 1, TikTok will continue to dominate right now in 2023. It is short form video. You know what is also going to dominate? YouTube Shorts. TikTok and YouTube Shorts. Take this information and do with it what you will, but TikTok is a game changer and it will continue to be. Now, the US government is saying, well, I'm not entirely sure about TikTok because it's owned by an offshore country and their data exploits and exploitations, et cetera. That could be a major issue. But for right now, it's great. Continue to use it. And if we forget that creative content on TikTok starts from the human, your ideas, and not just what ChatGPT is telling you, then you're not going to get you're just not going to get the engagement that you want. For example, this was a survey taken last year. This is the best data that I could find. Folks that are using TikTok are younger. Okay, so if you're in your 50s and 60s, this is actually a fantastic opportunity for you to jump into a younger market and younger space. My dad is retired. Well, I think he's retiring now. He'll be fully retired in the next couple of years. He's a professor at Western Michigan University in Kalamazoo. And I thought it would be the coolest thing for him just to react to all of his Rate My Professor reviews. And it was hilarious. His hashtag was like, I can't remember, WMU professor goes crazy or something, I don't know. But he was a trending professor just reading his reviews and reacting to his reviews on TikTok. And it was just the funniest thing in the world. So for those of you that are kind of on that edge, like 60s, 70s, you're like in your late 50s plus, and you're like, well, I'm not sure if I can relate to the young 18 to 34-year-old TikTok. I totally disagree. I think you have a lot of wisdom. You have a lot of opportunities to have your say and use TikTok as a vehicle to do that. This is kind of interesting. 67% of TikTok users agree that platform-specific content inspired them to shop more. If you tailor, this is just proving being platform-specific matters. If you're creating TikTok videos, or if you're creating LinkedIn videos, or you're creating YouTube videos or Instagram videos, talk to the Instagram audience, talk to the TikTok audience as if it's the only video meant for them. I'm not suggesting you shouldn't, like, you repurpose your videos, but be platform specific in your messaging. That's what really comes across. Some other interesting statistics about TikTok. This is something interesting that I found that I finally realized why I buy shoes from TikTok. Because when I'm on TikTok, 39%, it boosts my purchase motivation. This is the motivation. This is just me feeling good about the content creators' videos on TikTok. So I'm more likely to buy because it makes me feel good. It lifts my spirit, and that being a key factor in my buying decision or my decision to reach out to a content creator to learn more about his or her services. That is very, very interesting. Okay, very, very interesting. 63% of the clicked TikTok ads put their message in the first 3 seconds of the video. Travis, I'll get to your comment here in a second. 63%. This is interesting. If I'm running an ad on TikTok and you don't want to be a TikTok creator, that's not a problem, no big deal. But if you want to create your message, it's got to be in the first 3 seconds. People's attention span is super short these days. So the first 3 seconds has to be, boom, let's go. What are you? Who are you? They don't even want to know who you are. They want to know exactly the content that you're going to deliver for me. Very, very important, right? So for example, what Marianne did today was perfect. And then my presentation did not start off with this long drawn out, hey, here's who I am, da, 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 da. It would have put y'all to sleep. You would have been like, seriously, this guy, I can't steal this guy. I'm going to go check my email. I didn't do that. I started talking about ChatGPT right away. And what did that do? That grabbed your attention literally in the first 10 seconds of the talk. Here, the same thing. If you want to put out any kind of content, video or otherwise, your message has to be very loud and clear in the first 3 seconds of that video, of that piece of content. All right. Travis, just type in on ChatGPT the most used social websites worldwide. Results were Facebook #1, YouTube #3, WhatsApp #4, Instagram #5, and TikTok is #6. Yeah, this is where ChatGPT is not taking into account industry specific So maybe update your input to the top social media platforms used by real estate agents, and even then it may also be incorrect. So again, kind of keep that in mind. Next, if you're using TikTok, this is all that it takes: a tripod and camera. If you don't have a tripod, that's fine. You can go to like Amazon.com and use get a Joby, Joby. It's called a Joby tripod. It has like movable legs. That's all you need. Literally, guys, this is all that you need to make sure that you create vertical video on TikTok. That's it. Just this. So it's easy. Or have somebody just hold the phone for you. Like that's even better. You don't need to dance on TikTok. I tried dancing on TikTok and this actually made me look like a complete fool. So I deleted that video, but none of this is needed. You don't need to do any of this weird creative stuff. Like you don't need this. All you are experts in your field. You know exactly what you want to do. Use that to your benefit, unless you are doing long-form video. Okay, long-form video here is what really, really matters. You want to keep this in check. Long-form video is bad on TikTok. It's not going to work on LinkedIn unless it's on YouTube. YouTube is where you're really going to get the engagement on long-form video. Long-form video, if you think titles, you think description, you want to be really, really forthright with the information. You want to be as detailed as possible. That level of information matters. Somebody on TikTok, they're not going to care. They want information in 3, 4, 5 seconds, and that's it. I mean, if you're scrolling up, here's a test. If you're scrolling on Facebook or your favorite platform, how long are you pausing on content? And why are you pausing on content? The same behavior you have is the same expectation of the behavior that you should expect your client to have when interacting with your content online. Next, okay. I'll pause here actually real quick. Happy to take some questions. I know we're about 33 minutes in, wanted to make sure we're on pace. We talked about TikTok, we've talked about ChatGPT. Have y'all let that sink into your brains a little bit? I'm happy to answer questions. We'll take just a short 30-second break. Questions, more questions. Let's see, I got some maybe in Q&A. Okay, we answered that live. Cool. All right. Feel free to unmute yourselves too if you've got a question for me. At the end of the day, we think about content, we think about being an influencer in our own vertical. That could be helping somebody downsize. That could be helping new home buyers get introduced to the Long Island area. That could be, well, I cater to real estate investors. Whomever your vertical is, or whatever your vertical is, ensuring that you are doing the research to be sought after. That's what all of this is about. These trends will help support your efforts to be influencers that you are. Less real estate agent, more influencer. All right, Andy, do you feel that TikTok being short-term can be used to point the way to your landing page or longer YouTube content? Andy, that's a really good question. All of your social media outlets, whether it's LinkedIn, whether it's YouTube, whether it's Facebook, all of these things need to be going to one place. That place generally will be a landing page with a hero, like a hero section. And inside that hero section, just one call to action. Download my top 10 tips, or schedule a time to connect, or watch my webinar, or join my community, join my free community of other home buyers, or download my free checklist. These are deliverables that you can offer folks to get their information to start a long-term conversation. One of the challenges that I know real estate agents face is like, guys, I'm putting you'll say, Abhi, I'm putting all my time and all my effort into doing one thing, social media. Okay. And all I'm doing on social is creating videos and writing articles and creating all these images, but I'm not getting any traction. The question that I would have for you is, what is the call to action? Is the call to action, hey, just get in touch? If that's the case, that's a very vague call to action. A better call to action would be, even on long form video, would be go to www.andythaw.com/ebook, where you can download my ebook and schedule a call if you're a first-time home buyer, because there are 3 things about Long Island, New York real estate that you need to know. And if you don't know these top 3 things, it will be very hard for you to buy a home. You can gamify it a little bit for these folks that are interested, but that's the one place. You think of all the tentacles. Like my fingers here are all tentacles of social media outlets, and it has to go to this one joint. Like I don't have like 18 different elbows that has to go to, right? My arm has only one elbow. So I am doing all my social media stuff, all of it over here, to drive home to this one landing page. That's right. It's called a funnel. And that funnel then leads to one call to action. That call to action have A/B tests. You can test different calls to action to see what your tribe, who your cold traffic will respond to the most. Maybe it's a downloadable checklist. Maybe they want to chat with you. Maybe they want to engage you on the phone. Maybe it's a Zoom chat. Maybe it's in-person coffee. Whatever that is, use that then as the go-to call to action, and your conversion rates will start to increase. The conversion rate from cold social media traffic to scheduled call. That is a KPI that somebody on your team needs to be very, very, very intentional on focusing on. Then the question becomes your scheduled calls or scheduled meetings to warm lead. That then is another KPI. Then warm lead to closed opportunity or to one opportunity, that's another KPI. Inside of these KPIs, there are specific deliverables, but these are 3 big KPIs that we cannot forget to miss, especially on social. Again, keep in mind, I feel like social media is a really big distraction, and there are far too many agents focusing on the type of content and not enough on driving the needle forward in their internal KPI metrics they need. Okay, so when we talk about the messaging and we talk about what kind of messaging we need to put out there on social and just being very consistent, we need to keep in mind that back then in 2000, the average attention span of a human being was 12 seconds. Today, it's less than that of a goldfish. Think about that for a second. It's not even 8 seconds anymore. Frankly, this is wrong. Isn't it like 3 seconds, 2 seconds? It depends, platform specific. I'll find myself looking at an article on LinkedIn for maybe 8 to 10 seconds. On TikTok, I'm swiping up in like half a second. On Instagram, I'm spending even less time. So in keeping that in mind, your content, consider your content strategy to be 60-second videos or less if you're going video, and the video should have the highlight the message that you want to communicate in the first 3 to 5 seconds of that video, because goldfish have a longer attention span than human beings today. That's insane. 94% of pre-roll ads on YouTube are skipped within the first 5 seconds. So if one of your strategies is creating a YouTube ad and you're piggybacking off of a Long Island, New York influencer, and you're putting your pre-roll ad in front of their video, the first 5 seconds is where all the action is. Focus on that first 5 seconds. If you have some questions on what those first 5 seconds should be, feel free to get in touch. I'm happy to offer some free ideas for y'all, but the first 5 seconds matter. It's just like the Super Bowl, right? I mean, I watch the Super Bowl, not for the game, because let's be honest, there are only 2 states that were rooting for the teams, and then everybody else is rooting for Rihanna, right? Like that's what this year's Super Bowl was. But what captured your attention during the Super Bowl ads? The first couple of seconds. Did you also notice during the Super Bowl ads, there were some Super Bowl ads that were only 5 seconds long? Think about that. The first 5 seconds matter. 62% of viewers that watch a business-related video all the way through, they'll watch a business-related video if it's less than 60 seconds. What does this tell you? YouTube Shorts, this goes right back to LinkedIn Reels, Instagram Reels, even LinkedIn videos. Keep it less than 60 seconds. Keep it a nice tip, maybe the top 10 tips for Long Island new home buyers. Keep it less than 60 seconds. You'll get more traction on those videos than you would a video that's 20 or 30 minutes long, unless that 20 or 30 minute long video is really jam-packed with content. Maybe you're interviewing the mayor, maybe the PTAs, maybe community leaders, something that's different than just reiterating, regurgitating data. If that's all you're doing on a video, I think you're missing the boat here. Now, if your audience retention is 70% for the first 30 seconds of your video, then you probably have a really good hook. What does that mean? That means that I'm going to annotate the screen here. I'm just going to draw on my screen so you'll see it. That means that on, let's say this is attention and this is time. And this is the 30-second mark. Okay, this is the half-minute mark. This is my mouse. Okay, what you'll see on most YouTube videos, if you look into TubeBuddy analytics for a video, for your videos, what you'll see is most of the time, your attention span, your retention will be high and then drops the first 1 to 2 to 3 seconds. The reason for this is because the audience is bored and they've already clicked on another video. What you want to do is keep this retention for as long as you can, and then you'll probably start to see it drop here. It might drop here. It might drop here. If you're retaining your audience for the first 30 seconds of your video, chances are you're doing something right with that video, and you should be doing more of that. And this is videos across the board. I'll pause here. I'll answer some questions before going on to the next. What you got for me? I know we're talking about a lot of things. Again, keep in mind, this is your media hat. This is you as an influencer, as a real estate agent. This is you doing your best to get out there, offer the value, offer the information, offer the data, using your personality and drawing people into your ecosystem, because you're the individual that has the resources. You're the individual that has all the connections. You're the individual that can solve their pain. Cool. Will you send a copy of this recorded meeting to the attendees? I think so. I think that's a Marianne question. I wish I was recording it, because then I would be able to cut it up and use it for my social. Ha! I'm totally kidding. That's a Marianne call, but I'm sure you'll at least have the slides. Okay. Next. Andy, I've used music as a lead into my videos. Waste of time. Yeah, totally waste of time, because nobody cares about the videos. I'm sorry, nobody cares about the music. And if you're like, here, this is what's going to happen. I wish I had like a blank thing. All right, well, we'll just use this. I'm going to annotate on my screen to prove Andy's question here. Here's what's going to happen, right? If you're using a mixer, yeah, so if you're using a mixer and your music is like doing this, and your audio, like what you're speaking in the video, this is your actual content, your audio content, and you're blending the music in, or you're blending the music, you're kind of doing that, where the music starts off really loud and then it kind of tapers off, kind of like a news channel does on CNN or Fox or whatever. Please don't do that. You don't need any of that. That's getting too cute. It's just not worth it. And chances are you're not going to use royalty-free music. If you are using royalty-free music, it's going to sound like an elevator music, and nobody wants to be stuck listening to an elevator music. At the beginning of a video, they want to feel your passion, and they want to feel your energy, and they want to feel you as the creator. That's the most important part. If you use music at like 20% throughout the video, I think that's also really lame. You shouldn't need to do that. Only use sound effects or video or music if you're trying to make a point. That's a really, really big deal. All right, some more statistics here. This is what's interesting. As we see, short-term videos are more of a trend than long-term videos, than even infographics. I remember 5 or 6 years ago, infographics were like in, but you know what? It's not as much anymore unless there is a very specific point to it for your tribe. Okay, so here's a strategy, something that I highly recommend. As real estate agents, we're underutilizing LinkedIn. We're not utilizing YouTube well enough. And TikTok, I think, from what I'm hearing and from what I'm gathering, real estate agents are using TikTok relatively well. Of course, the same with Facebook and Instagram. We are absolutely missing the boat on LinkedIn and YouTube. These are very, very, very important platforms that we cannot forget about. And keep in mind, we're driving everything to a funnel that you can use to have conversations with people. That's really important, okay? That's really, really important. Number 3, influencer marketing right now is at an all-time high, especially micro influencers. This is a chart of where influencer marketing is going to be by 2030. And this is done by Grand View Research, a leading research firm for social media platforms. And you can see that it's a big deal. Micro influencers, specifically micro influencers, as we'll see in a second, they matter. Not just having individuals that have 25, 30, 40, 50,000 followers with zero engagement. What really matters is that micro influencer that has 100, 300 followers, but 100 comments every time. Those are the individuals you want to go after. And here's some guidance on if you want to spend advertising dollars partnering with influencers. This is some guidance on what I recommend you should be paying attention to. Okay, I'm going to annotate the screen so you can see exactly what I'm saying. Micro influencers, individuals that have less than 15,000 followers, you want to see at least a 4% engagement rate on Instagram. What does that mean? That means likes, that means comments. I do not care if you have 15,000 followers and you have one like or one comment. That is bogus. The same thing on YouTube. At least 1.63% of the time, somebody should be commenting, liking, etc. And on TikTok, you want that number to be significantly higher, almost 18%. Okay, that is just engagement. Engagement is defined by people commenting, liking, posting something on that piece of content. Okay, big deal. Micro influencers, you're not going to be spending a whole lot of money here. You'll be spending maybe a little bit of money, but a lot more bang for your buck. Rising influencers, those that are 50 to 100,000, they will be more expensive. Maybe a lot more expensive in today's inflationary environment. Here, you're looking for a lower engagement rate because they have so many more influencers, so many more followers and followership, but you still want engagement. On YouTube and on TikTok, for example, you want about 8.37%. So take a screenshot if you want of this slide. Again, you're going to get these. This is just my advice. I love this. This was a survey done by Up Influence, and where I'm spending all of my time to find 100% of my opportunities is in the micro influencer market. Now, something else that's interesting, what kind of influencer do you want to work with? That should say 2022, 2021. That's my bad. Sorry about that. It's less today. In late 2022, we're finding that celebrities, not so much. Not as much bang for the buck. Because if you want to work with, say, a Mark Cuban or a major celebrity, they have so many followers and you don't really know who those followers are. Micro influencers right here in the middle that you see, that's where all the action is. That's where all the action is going to be for the next couple of years. So the question is, how do you spot the right influencer? Well, their focus for their posts will be on video content, short form video content. They will have higher engagement in the micro and nano influencer space. Again, micro is less than 15,000, nano, thinking less than 5,000 here. They will have the right level of engagement for you, and that's comments, likes, posts, okay? And their performance is linked with payment. So you'll incentivize. Don't just pay them all up front and then say, hey, you get, thanks for nothing, right? You want to make sure they're incentivized throughout their journey with you as also an expert in influence trying to get your message out there. Next, authentic content matters. So if you find them using like a Synthesia.io to create AI-based content, and if their content is ChatGPT, nope, that's not going to do it. So be very careful, because now we have two different worlds. Content is split now, I think, in two different worlds. The first world is real, authentic, human-made content. And the other kind of synthetic world is content that was created by AI, but then there's a face to it, and I'm just reading off of a teleprompter AI content versus completely AI content. So just be very wary of what type of influencer you're working with and the engagement rates they have. And number 4, paid ads are on fire. Paid ads in 2023, you are going to get a lot of bang for your buck, considering that we are in a recession, technical recession. We're maybe looking at getting out of it here in the next couple of months, depending on what happens with overall GDP. HubSpot said, hey, what are the most important things that we want to do? 2021, I need a 2-year comparison here, 2021 versus 2022. Increasing brand awareness and reaching new audiences is obviously key. And the same thing with improving customer service and retention. The big deal here, guys, is 1, I want to make sure that constantly I'm in front of people. That is a revenue generating activity. I also want to fulfill. If I'm not fulfilling and I'm creating a lot of revenue and I'm creating a lot of eyeballs and I'm not fulfilling, that's going to be very, very bad for my overall brand. Keep in mind, the social ad train will continue to keep into its course right in 2022 and 2023. This is something to keep in mind. If 100% of my marketing strategy is paid ads, as long as I can fulfill and I have that, right? I have those tentacles, I have the social tentacles out there, and I've got all the paid ads, whether it's Google, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever. And I'm driving them to one landing page, and that landing page has one or two or three specific call to actions that work. You will light it on fire if that's all that you did in 2023. If that's all you did in 2023. Okay. This is somewhat interesting. Video. I know we're running a little short on time. Video is what matters. Paid search, again, on increasing sales. Sales is a marketing function. So we want to make sure we're constantly investing in marketing on Google ads, on paid ads, but not forgetting the fact that digital video matters. Vertical video and horizontal video. Vertical video for all platforms, horizontal video for YouTube only. Okay, user-generated content. This is a big deal. If you're not using user-generated content, you are missing out on the lifeblood of your business. This includes referrals and not just a text testimonial. These referrals have to be video testimonials. If you're not doing video testimonials and using them in your content, you're losing the game here. A couple of ways to do this. Number one, you can use these user-generated content videos in surveys, in podcasts, in YouTube videos, in case studies, and blog posts, and product reviews. All of this to build up you as an influencer, you as the brand, and you as the individual that knows how to help people. User-generated content matters. It's one thing to say that you're good. It's another thing to let other people do that on your behalf. For example, I love Lulu, and I love the fact that Lulu takes a very diverse approach to their brand and recognizing artists across the board. This is phenomenal. Use these big brands, see what they're doing differently and how you can adapt that to your individual brand. And if you're looking for ideas, ChatGPT can help you, right? Like, what can I do? Actually, I want to try that. How can I use Lululemon's marketing strategy for me as a real estate agent? I think would be a great ChatGPT prompt to get some responses to. And again, you can see here, I just picked an older one from Lulu from October of 2021, still have 15,000 likes to prove the fact that all of 2022 and into 2023, they still have more and more posts. But if you just look back into history, they're still doing the foundational things that they need to do to be an influencer. This next one is epic: local targeting and geofencing. This is the way that I'm able to find opportunities working with real estate investors or even working with private equity investors. What is geofencing? At the end of the day, you're setting up a virtual boundary and pinging people that match specific criteria inside of that boundary. And what happens? When you are marketing to these folks, you can be in front of them wherever they go. You don't grab their information, you just ping their phone. You have a pixel on their phone, and anywhere they go, after they interact with you physically, they go into a physical space like a dentist's office or a convention, you can serve up ads to them for the next 30 days, the next 60 days, the next 90 days, all because they matched your preferences for displaying ads to. That is insane. So for example, let's say that I am let's make this more real for real estate agents. Let's say I go to NAR, okay? Let's say I go to NAR and I wanted to reach all the real estate agents in the room because I have an amazing referral network idea or a referral idea. I'm going to geofence the entire stadium for NAR that weekend. And I'm going to pick specific real estate agents that match filters. And for the next 30 days, set up ads that anywhere else they visit online, they will see my face, they will see my ad, both video and text, and then I suck them right into my funnel. That is what geofencing can do. And the only statistics I was able to pull for geofencing were from last year. We just started this year. Mobile ads with geofencing have double the click-through rate. So if I'm on my phone, you know, and nobody turns off their GPS anymore, right? So if I'm on my phone, guess what's happening? If I walk into the dentist's office, my phone knows that I'm at the dentist's office. If I geofence that dentist's office, just using that as an example, and pinged first-time home buyers or individuals that were, and again, follow the rules here. I'm not a real estate agent, so you have to follow the rules and make sure that you're compliant. But if I selected a specific age group of individuals, or a specific income category of individuals that represents a first-time home buyer, only y'all would know what that is, and I targeted them at a dentist's office on their phone, I would have double the click-through rate. Think about that. And by the way, if I send them a text message after they opt into my landing page, 90% of SMSs, 90% of text messages are read in the first 3 minutes. That is a hot lead, and then I can capture and I have conversations with them. Again, zooming out, at the end of the day, you just want to listen. You want to know what your client is thinking and be there for them. These tools give you that ability. Last but not least, social media listening. If you go to connected.io, connected.io gives you the ability to respond to what people are thinking in real time. So say, for example, on Twitter or on LinkedIn or your favorite social media platform, there's somebody that hashtags or talks about Long Island real estate. That gets served up to you and you can respond to them in real time. That is social listening. If you have an offshore resource, or if you hire an offshore resource to help you with that, and all you do is engage these individuals every day, you're literally creating relationships out of thin air by just giving to them. So for example, the ways that this helps you is you get industry insights, you have some analysis on your competitors, you can monitor different events. If there are people that are talking about an event that they're going to for the first time, where you might find that there are a good number of first-time home buyers, targeting that event is special. Targeting that event gets you and your face and your brand and what you do in front of folks who then will click on you and start a conversation. That's a very, very, very big deal. We have a minute left. I'm happy to stay on just for a couple minutes after to answer some questions. I know we went through a lot of information. This, if all you did, here's the challenge. Okay, here's the challenge. I'll leave you with this. Try ChatGPT, take a look at ChatGPT, understand what your social media strategy is for this quarter, okay, for Q1. And I know we're halfway through Q1. So for Q1, what do we need to do for the rest of Q1 going into Q2 that includes ChatGPT, LinkedIn, and YouTube? And if that's all that we did, how would that positively impact the business? That's the idea. So this is my email. For those of you that are looking at the slides, or you have specific questions, or you're looking for a team, or whatever it may be, email me. And I have a lot of resources. I'd be happy at least just to send you some resources for free. If you have any questions beyond that, again, I'm happy to help. I'm here for you to use as a resource. And everything that I'm doing here, everything that I've showed you is my team and I are constantly using these strategies and iterating on these strategies to find deals. Like this year, I'm going to be buying 50 homes. I have a very specific purpose for that, but this is how I'm finding the 50 investment properties to go buy. And it's already happening. I already have lead flow. So coming from somebody that it works for, please use just one of these strategies. Just one. Just promise me just one. Thanks, guys. This is a lot of fun. I really appreciate it. Please email me and I'll be happy to get the slides your way. Thanks again.
Thank you, Abhi. I just wanted to let everyone know that this is definitely recorded. There's an incredible amount of information, and we're so happy that you are here with us today. Thank you for being with us, and we will be inviting you back. I hope everyone took something away, and see you soon, my friend.